What it do, cuckolds? It's your boy, the hater. Hater on the road! I've been driving a lot these last few days, cucks, so you get a lot of hater on the roads. Now, I want to preface this video by saying that personally, R-Truth has always been a favorite of the haters. More so in TNA than in WWE. I personally believe that this 17-year run that he's had in the WWE should be rated at like maybe a 2 out of 10. But I've always liked R-Truth, and I've always thought that he deserved better, all right? This is just how it is. Now, for those that don't know yet, which probably is nobody at this point, R-Truth has been released by the WWE. Now, I have mixed feelings about this. On one hand, it makes total sense, right? Let's not pretend. A lot of people are acting like The Undertaker just got released. Fucking relax, all right? This guy is R-Truth. He is a jobber for the last 17 years at least, right? He's had flashes of good moments, but he has largely been treated as a jobber. And quite frankly, for a jobber to be in the WWE for 17 years, it says something. Considering the fact that he's 53, that means, quick maths, he joined when he was 36. He rejoined WWE, I should say, when he was 36. Most people at 36 start thinking about retirement. You know what I mean? Like the Cenas of the world start thinking about retirement, and they go away for like 8 years and have like an appearance here and there. So R-Truth has had a full career, a full WWE career for that matter, because he also had arguably a full TNA career. So R-Truth is going to go down as a great wrestler, in my opinion, objectively, right? And with that being said, two idiots almost crashed into each other. Oh, I think one of them did crash into him. Oh, shit. Either that or his car was already all crashy and shit, which is possible. It'd explain a lot, dumb fuck. But anyways, the way that this shit went down, oh, that was a car crash. Shit. Is the hater gonna have to be like a witness to this? Man, this guy, all right, guys, side rant. This guy just crashed into this other guy as they were switching lanes behind me. They're both idiots. And now they're pulling over. And one guy's car is like pretty destroyed on the right side. But I don't understand how that's possible because like the guy's still driving just fine. So now they're gonna pull over. But it looks like they're on the same page. You know, the other guy could just bounce if he wants to. That'd be pretty funny. Let's see if he does. We're at the exit. Now they both went, cucks. All right, anyways, now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the story at hand here, all right? Thankfully, everyone was all right. Sorry about that, but it was interesting. Hater on the road, cucks. That's what you get with hater on the road. It was a very light accident. They both kept moving. It was really weird. Never seen anything like it. But anyways, R-Truth is going to go down as a great wrestler for what he is, right? Let's not get it twisted, though. People are acting like this is some great injustice. For better or for worse, R-Truth has had opportunities to shine. And quite frankly, R-Truth has not provided a return on the investment. R-Truth, there's no reason to feel bad about R-Truth. R-Truth has made millions from the WWE. Millions, motherfuckers. And he has provided basically nothing, right? I harken back to Cena's promo about how Logan Paul pays their mortgage, right? Like, not Logan Paul, but like Cena and Randy Orton, Batista, Edge, the people that have drawn a lot of money are the ones that really get the ball rolling, right? R-Truth is no different than like Ludwig Kaiser, you know what I mean? Obviously, he's better than Ludwig Kaiser, but it's not this tragedy. He's 53. Like, how much longer do people want to see this guy do it, right? So there's that part of the argument. The other part of the argument is, you know, firing people sucks, but this is not that kind of business. This is not a business where you can work to until you're 90, right? Maybe R-Truth can be given like a producer job or something, but as a talent, he's 53. Yeah, he can still go, but he's 53, you know what I mean? Like, what do they expect from him? Like, any year now, he could have like a career-ending injury. So you can't really put him in long-term programs. Now, that being said, R-Truth is still great, right? This doesn't take away the fact that he's great. But I would be remiss if I didn't spend a considerable time in this video discussing the fact that for the longest time, R-Truth, also known as retarded truth, like, he played the character of a retard. Now, that's whatever. Comedy characters have always been a big part of WWE. But as we all know, it's very difficult for a comedy character to kind of rehabilitate him or herself from a comedy character to more of a serious character, right? So R-Truth, it was a wrap for years now, you know? And the fact is, he spent years doing nothing and getting paid, you know? Maybe he wrestles in the independent shows. Who knows? Who cares? It's neither here nor there, right? Now R-Truth can go and pursue his desire to do music, which obviously is not going to work out, but nevertheless, you know, I actually like some of his songs. But the idea is he's 53, right? It's time for him to basically retire and enjoy his life, you know, while he's still in incredibly good shape too, you know? He can have like a great life, just like living his life, or he can join AW and join the MVP Lashley group, whatever the fuck they're called, Hurt Syndicate, right? But the fact that he played a character that's retarded on TV should be enough to really get people on board with what happened, right? Like, I'm not saying be happy that he got released, but it certainly is not a tragedy. And quite frankly, one of the things that I'm finding very weird is this like backlash, right? This idea that, oh, R-Truth got released. How could they do this to him? He's 53, motherfucks. He's 53, and for 17 years has been getting paid to do nothing, you know? Now, it would be a different story if R-Truth was used, quote unquote, correctly, right? In my opinion, he's one of those people that was mishandled, right? He came in with this like prison gimmick, you know what I mean, which harkens back to his real life as a cocaine dealer, according to Wikipedia. And, you know, he's like reformed himself, right? He was immediately like destroyed with one of the worst names of all time, R-Truth. Now, obviously, the name eventually stuck, right? It's not a good name, but it's stuck. It's kind of like the whole Walter Gunther situation, right? Where people now don't care that he's not Walter anymore. Right now he's just Gunther. But R-Truth is objectively one of the worst names of all time. Like, I think K-Quick is actually better. But anyways, R-Truth was entertaining. He still is entertaining. And he went off with a semi-bang. Now, the issue that I have with this, another issue that I have with this, I should say, is like, if you're going to release him, in my personal opinion, it would have made a lot more sense to do so in a more Cena-centric way. Like, for example, Cena just completely buries him, destroys him completely, and then he gets released quietly, right? They just leave him off TV for a couple of weeks, and then he's quietly released. You see what I'm saying? That, in my opinion, would be much, much better, right? Because then you could, like, have that be on Cena's conscience, right? Like, he destroyed R-Truth. You know what I mean? He like, retired and destroyed R-Truth, right? And that would get him a lot of actual heat, because for some reason, the fans love R-Truth. But instead, they just had him lose to Cena, come back like nothing happened, and then lose to JC Mateo, and now he's gone. You know what I mean? So, I didn't like how they utilized him in the end. But, that's the story of this video. I didn't like how they utilized them at any time, motherfuckers. R-Truth has been misused for so long. And it's to the point now where he began feeling like a charity case, right? There's a few charity cases in WWE. One of them is Titus O'Neil, for example. Like, he's still signed in some capacity, right? He gets a paycheck from WWE. He's their brand ambassador. He probably doesn't do shit like 99% of the time. But nevertheless, he brings them good PR, right? But he's a charity case. Like, he's not earning them money. He's just they're doing it for PR, right? It would be a bad look to fire, like, whatever, the Father of the Year award winner. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good man in real life, so that sticks. I'm sure R-Truth is a good man too, but he's just a wrestler at this point, right? And he's a charity case the same way that, like, you know, Ludwig Kaiser's a charity case. The same way that Humberto Carrillo is a charity case. The way that Primo and Epico, remember them motherfucks? The way they were charity cases for, like, 10 years of their careers, you know? The way that JTG was a charity case. Like, they're just there because people forget that they're there. You know, they sign him to, like, a big-ass, like, probably, like, not lucrative, but long contract. And then JTG just stays there. Like, why wouldn't he? You know what I mean? So, there you have it. That's how that goes, you know? R-Truth, he's made his money. He's had a respectable career in TNA. And he's had a disrespectful career in WWE. And this brings me to the last point I want to make about this. It's a very important point, in my opinion. The main issue that I have with R-Truth, as he has been presented, is fundamentally that R-Truth, whether you like it or not, whether you like him or not, R-Truth, in being presented as a retarded person, right? I believe that this 17-year run, which I never thought this would last 17 years, when he debuted after, because he was a jobber in TNA at this time, I'm like, wow, like, they really signed Ron Killings, like, he's going to be there for a couple of years and go. Never would have imagined that this motherfucker would stay for 17 years. He's exceeded all expectations, but he has done so in a very demeaning way. Like, R-Truth is a very charismatic guy. R-Truth is a good-looking guy, or was when he was younger. Now he's just like an older guy, you know? But, like, his physique was like one of a kind. He was just like always in shape, you know? R-Truth deserved better. And what he got in WWE, even though it was deserving in terms of like the fact that he stayed for 17 years and he made a lot of money with them, he was a comedy character. And R-Truth is so much more than a comedy character, you see? So with that being said, I am upset a little bit that R-Truth's legacy is going to be known largely for what he did, like, as a retard, as a comedy jobber. See what I'm saying? It would have been better if this weren't the case. If R-Truth instead was someone that had a respectable career in WWE, this would be very, very, not tragic, because that would be an exaggerated word, but it would be pretty sad, right? But the fact is, like, people are getting mad because a jobber got fired, you know? Like, there's other wrestlers that have been fired even recently that, you know, haven't had, nor will they ever have, R-Truth's career. As a matter of fact, none of the people that have been released will have R-Truth's career, right? Because R-Truth had a long-ass career. Like, you think if Montez Ford gets released tomorrow, he's going to stay in wrestling until he's 53? You think if Ludwig Kaiser, well, he might, because he might go to Austria and, like, be, like, the world champion of Austria wrestling or whatever, right? But think about that for a second, right? Do you think that that's going to be the case? I mean, the fact of the matter is that R-Truth is no one to pity. You know what I mean? He has had a complete career, and I'm sure a complete life. And the way people are treating it, it's as if he fucking died in real life, motherfuckers. I can't believe they're letting go of R-Truth. Like, how can you not believe that? Like, to me, it's just flabbergasting how everyone is pretending to be shocked. Like, it's a 53-year-old jobber with a retard gimmick. What did you expect? For him to be retarded until he's 70? Like, what more could they do? Do you understand me? Like, he's 53 and plays the role of a mentally retarded wrestler. And people are like, I can't believe they let go of the mentally retarded wrestler who's 53. The reaction should be, I can't believe that he fucking made it to 53. You know? No resentment. I'm happy he did. I like R-Truth. But let's not get it twisted, motherfuckers. He made it to 53. If we could all be so lucky. John Cena is in his, like, mid to late 40s. Even he's not making it to 53. The Undertaker player made it to, like, 56, 57. Like, to make it to your 50s, to be like a Ric Flair or an Undertaker or someone of that level, you have to be, like, elite. You have to be, like, a top 10 of all time. Like, if you're not a top 10 and you're still working in the WWE in an active role in your 50s, then your name is R-Truth, because there's nobody else that did this. The closest thing is, like, Billy Gunn in AEW. I think he's like 60. The motherfucker is just like a completely different level of a human. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how old he is. That's just fucking insane, right? But Billy Gunn is like the closest thing. And Billy Gunn is another R-Truth level guy. You know what I mean? Like, then you have people like Sting and, you know, everybody else that you would mention in this category would be like an absolute bona fide legend. You know, like Undertaker, Sting, Cena if he makes it to his 50s. Orton if he stays for 10 more years, like he said, right? Even Orton, he's like, I might want to stay for 10 more years. Like, that would put him at the same age, effectively, as R-Truth is now. You know what I mean? Like, if Orton stays for 10 years, he'll be as old as R-Truth is. And then imagine when Orton also gets released. Like, eventually, if Orton is 55 and he's like, I want to keep wrestling, unless he has, like, developed some sort of a Ric Flair charisma, he ain't wrestling anymore. They're going to fucking fire his ass, too. And what are they supposed to do? Keep everyone employed until they're dead? No, motherfucks. Doesn't make any sense. You can't have it both ways. Like, you can't, for example, simultaneously be upset that R-Truth, Dakota Kai, and Shayna Baszler get released, you know, and then also say, why don't they push the young guys? Like, if you want to have them pay the old guys, they're not going to push the young guys. They're going to fire the young guys to make more money, you know, to if you will, to increase the salary cap, right? Or to, you know, whatever, to widen the amount of money they have within the salary cap would be a better way to say it. But in conclusion, right? R-Truth, great guy, definitely not a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's gonna be one because everyone's Hall of Famer now, but like he shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Great comedy act for what he was. Like, when I say great comedy act, I mean like I recognize people liked him. I personally thought there was absolutely nothing funny about R-Truth. Like, I think that's like the comedy of like retarded people, you know what I mean? Like, it's like stupid people see someone acting stupid and they think that's a form of comedy, you know? To me, it was just demeaning and stupid and unnecessary. Like, it didn't do anything. The fans, like, you see all these compilations on YouTube, they're like, R-Truth making wrestlers break character. They're not breaking character. They're in character. Like Brock Lesnar laughing at R-Truth is in character. The character of Brock Lesnar is supposed to laugh at the retard. You know what I'm saying? People really thought like that, like R-Truth's like shitty comedy was making people break character. That's not what's happening, cucks. You know? But it is what it is. R-Truth, whatever he did, and I will say this, it sounds like I'm eulogizing him, you know, but I'm not, because I'm sure he's got a nice, great, long life ahead of him, you know. But basically, R-Truth, he's like an Eric Young in many ways. Everything he did to the best of his abilities, and every time he did something, he stood out. If you compare him to the other people that are like him, right, like the Eugenes of the world, the Eric Youngs of the world, he clearly has had a better career than them. And I like Eugene, and I love Eric Young. But these are just the facts, motherfuckers. You know, I don't think R-Truth was that great, like, as great as people are making him seem. You know, he was an undercard nobody. But, you know, he got what he deserved. Like, he deserved, you know, a second chance in WWE. He got it. He did well in terms of finances. And he didn't get pushed because he's just not the kind of guy that you push. I mean, it's basically that simple, right? You can't push fucking R-Truth because, you know, fundamentally, he plays the role of a retarded person. Like, you can't have a retarded person be WWE champion, right? Like, that would just be like a new low, you know? So there you have it, motherfuckers. Now, R-Truth, it'd be great. Let's talk about this last thing. What I want to see next. Next, I'd love for R-Truth to show up in TNA, or TNA would be ideal in my opinion, or even A-Dub, and he should show up, and he should revert back to his, like, angry black guy gimmick, right? And the first promo he should cut is, I'm not R-Truth, I'm Ron Killings. I've been playing like a cuckold for like 17 years, and I'm sick of it, right? He needs to just kind of like establish that as his like new thing, and then I think people are gonna love him, you know? So, with that being said, good for R-Truth. Thank you for entertaining us. Can't wait to see what you do next, Ari. Take care, cucks.